Hello, and welcome to The Art of Prevention, a training video focused on the prevention of sexual abuse and violence in the disability community. My name is Lindsay Samples. I'm a principal teaching artist with Upstream Arts, a Twin Cities-based organization dedicated to using the power of the creative arts to uplift the voice and choice of individuals with disabilities. The work of Upstream Arts explores social-emotional learning, how we develop self-awareness and relationship skills through interactive arts activities. We bring people together to share creative experiences and to reimagine how we communicate and collaborate across abilities to build balanced relationships and healthy communities. For the production of this video, we partnered with the community of individuals with disabilities and their support staff from MSS, one of the Twin Cities' largest day service providers. Throughout the video, you'll hear directly from individuals with disabilities about their experiences, personal boundaries, and support needs. You'll also hear from staff who work with and alongside these individuals every day about the joys, the challenges, and the responsibilities we all have of providing compassionate, person-centered support for all who need it. This video is for you, the direct support professionals, or DSPs, who provide each and every intimate care in the daily lives of people with disabilities. DSPs have many roles in their relationship with the people they support, including the role of the confidant, the advocate, the friend, mentor, or just someone who will listen. By helping to complete daily tasks like providing transportation to appointments, seeing friends and family, and encouraging engagement with their community, DSPs play an important part in empowering their clients to lead independent, meaningful, and productive lives. The relationship between a DSP and an individual with disabilities requires an immense amount of mutual trust and respect, and an understanding that there must be a balance of power in the relationship.
It's a very specific type of care that we provide. Making sure people are comfortable and heard all the time. I think trying to not make assumptions about what people want me to do for them. Serve what they want to happen instead of me influencing them too hard.
For me, it's having them smile. So how do I make that person have the best life here at Oakdale or at MSS in general? How can I make them go home with a smile?
DSPs are the foundation of disability services. And by centering your relationships around bodily autonomy, consent, and self-determination, you are prioritizing the prevention of sexual abuse and violence in the disability community. The work you are doing is critical. We are so glad you are here to observe, experience, and learn. Before continuing, pause the video and reflect on what these terms mean to you. Consent, bodily autonomy, healthy, balanced relationships. The sexual violence and abuse crisis. Too often, in disability services, decisions are being made on behalf of people with disabilities. These range from daily decisions like what to wear or when to eat, to choices with far greater implications, like where to live and what information individuals are given about their bodies and their health. Most decisions about their lives and their bodies are determined by others, and many individuals begin to believe that they don't have the right to say no or make their own decisions. This exclusion from information and decision-making creates an environment where individuals with disabilities are disproportionately at risk of experiencing sexual violence and of being in unsafe, unbalanced, unhealthy relationships. According to the U.S. Justice Department, individuals with disabilities experience sexual violence at a rate 7 times higher than those without disabilities, often by people in their daily lives who they depend on. This is a situation of epidemic proportions that most caregivers and families are unaware of. The strategies explored in this video can undermine these statistics and override the antiquated assumptions about individuals with disabilities. As you watch, we'll ask you to reflect on your own practice and imagine new ways to engage with and listen to the people you support in a way that honors their opinions and life choices. Creating a culture of consent in disability services is an important step in the prevention of sexual abuse and violence. A culture of consent means an environment in which an individual's opinions and choices are honored and respected. In this video, we will explore the following 3 practices: discovering a shared language, finding the type of communication that works, and establishing and practicing key phrases. Nurturing relationships, getting to know those you support and being curious. Practicing consent, naming personal boundaries, identifying our yeses and nos, and offering choice. Discovering a shared language. Step 1. Everyone has a different style of communication. We have to find what works best for both of us.
So it's not always going to be by the books at all, because it's their own way of communication and communicating what they need. You know, when this says what it is, it means that she needs to sit down, whereas maybe that means something else to somebody else. But to her, that is, she needs a break and she needs to sit down. This isn't like no or anything like that. It's she wants paper to take home. Different, but that also comes with learning that person and having that one-on-one time.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that was difficult for me when I first started in this field, like approaching communication so differently. But like that's like the whole job, is consistently learning new communication styles. Take it slowly, but just trying to recognize how people start communication.
Each of us has a different style of communication. Body language and gestures, facial expressions and eye movement, sounds, sign language, visuals or communication devices, or any combination of different modalities. Communication is so much more than just the use of words. So, how do we get to know each other and begin to understand each other's wishes and desires? What do you do if verbal language is not your shared language? How do you find a communication style that works for both of you? Well, you have to be creative.
I feel like whenever I think about creativity in this field, it's always about like different ways to approach people and different ways to like kind of like pick up on cues. Yeah, I think creativity is like, it's about like options and experimentation, and especially in communication, like trying to experiment and see like if you think something works really well, like there's probably a good chance that something works better than that. So if you keep working towards another way to communicate, just being open to change and open to trying new things out a little bit.
For our purposes, creativity means changing our routines and patterns to create new meanings and new forms. It's about taking something familiar, changing one thing, and discovering something new. At Upstream Arts, we use the language of the arts as a substitute for verbal language. Instead of using words in our conversations, we change one thing. We use movement and gestures, rhythm, sounds. We even explore the use of painting as a communication tool. We explore the routines and patterns of a conversation, of a back and forth exchange of ideas or thoughts through a creative lens. As we practice getting to know each other in this way, we are sensing all the different ways we communicate. We begin to understand the variety of ways we express ourselves and how we can better understand each other. When we take away words, we become more active listeners. It narrows our focus and forces us to notice the little hints of communication. And it's absolutely natural. we understand how the feeling of a fast tempo is different from the feeling of a slow tempo. Or how close or far away we are from someone else says something about our relationship. Through these explorations, we build more confidence in recognizing nonverbal cues and noticing the smallest details of communication, in the eyes, in a shift in focus, in the tone of our voice or mood, a change in tempo, or in the smallest of movements. Through this kind of intentional practice, we gain a better understanding of where communication is happening, how people are expressing themselves, and most importantly, how they are expressing their yeses and nos. This is where we begin our practice of consent and our journey towards building a community of prevention.
A lot of what I do is trial and error, because if something doesn't work, okay, let's go to the next thing. Oh, sometimes it's a movie phrase that he or she likes. Maybe it's Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's them saying, like, I'm happy, I'm excited, let's do this project together. There's one from the Disney movie Robin Hood. Go catch the arrow, or something like that. That meant that person didn't really like you. Is somebody new, they'd be like, oh, he's just ignoring me. No, he's not ignoring you. You're just asking the wrong questions. Approach it this way, and let's see where it goes.
Before continuing, pause the video and reflect on the following questions. How do you build trust, empathy, and understanding with the community you work with and alongside? How could you use creativity and art to share in a playful exchange with the community you support? Why is a playful interaction important? What happens when we share in joy and laughter? What part of your day would be best for these kinds of strategies? For example, hellos and goodbyes, transitions into and out of spaces, between activities, or during group activities. Discovering a shared language. Step 2. Establishing and practicing key phrases. Quote, I learned my body belongs to me. Your body belongs to you. Unquote. Upstream Arts participant with disabilities. An important step in creating a community of prevention is to establish and practice key phrases. One of the key phrases that Upstream Arts uses in its Art of Relationships program, a model that focuses on safe relationships and intimacy, is my body belongs to me. Our staff practice saying it and showing it. Our participants practice saying and showing it. It's a phrase that we all want and need to feel really grounded in and sure about.
So I want to practice saying my body belongs to me. Could you all practice that with me? I'm going to say it first and then we'll all say it together. You ready? My body belongs to me. My body belongs to me. This time let's say it really excited. Oh, I like fast. Let's do fast first. Ready? My body belongs to me. Now let's say it excited. My body belongs to me. Now let's say it frustrated. My body belongs to me. Again. Now let's say it really firm, like we're telling somebody, I mean this. This is my factory. Ready? My body belongs to me. My body belongs to me. Now, is there a way for you to say it without using words? Ooh, I see Jennifer doing this. Anybody else? Let me see. We can all do it at the same time. How would you say it even without words? I see pointing to ourselves. Ooh, I see an X. Hey. Holding our chest. Ooh, making like a barrier. Ooh, stop. Yeah, stop. Ooh, I see hands up like this. You can even...
When we practice saying and showing these phrases as a community, the ideas become a part of our shared language and our shared values. As the individuals you support are learning that their body belongs to them, you are also establishing that you have a right to set your own boundaries that the community must respect. It's important that all of our boundaries are respected, yours and the clients you support. Upstream Arts has developed many key phrases that we weave through all of our programming as a way to promote self-advocacy and self-determination for our community. My body belongs to me. Your body belongs to you. We all have value. I deserve to be listened to. I can change my mind. I stand up for myself and others. Choices have impact. Failure is okay. We all need each other. We practice our key phrases sometimes by simply chanting them together, or we say them together to the rhythm of music. We may string several of them together in this manner to create a song.
Can I do it later? Can I do it later? Can I do it later? Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Don't be afraid of who you are. 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 No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. Yes.
During our upstream experience that we just recently had, there are a few of them that are like, no, 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 and then they'll laugh and then walk away. Boundaries? I said boundaries. Good job. Good job advocating.
Pause the video and make a list of key phrases that support the idea of building a culture of consent in your organization. How can these be woven into your daily routines, such as chanting, creating posters or designs with words, making a song or a poem, etc.? Developing a shared language, things to remember.
You can say a lot with your eyes. For instance, picking a color, and all right, Dale, would you like blue? And there's really nothing. All right, Dale, would you like purple? It can just be as simple as big eyes, or maybe just a little nudge, or a little head tilt. But that comes with working with that person and having that time. Most of it is just trial and error, learning one another. So having those little increments of trust, if you will, and so those little moments really do grow.
We all communicate in our own unique ways. Creativity and play are two of the most powerful tools we can use to build a shared language and understanding with the community we work with and alongside. Through exploration over time, we expand our choices and the choices of others to find connections beyond verbal language. When we learn the verbal and nonverbal cues of the people we support, we better understand how they are communicating their boundaries and how they are agreeing or not to the interactions they have with us. By establishing key phrases and making them a part of our daily routines, we are modeling and upholding the messages about consent and bodily autonomy, making the topics easier to bring up in the moments when they are most needed. Developing a Shared Language 101. If you're unsure where to start with mirroring. There is no better way to begin a practice of finding shared language with someone than by actually doing the same thing in the same moment together. It's about noticing what's in front of you and reflecting back what you see. Throughout our lifetime, we mirror the emotional state of our friends, family, colleagues all the time. It's a natural social cue. For example, when a friend is quiet and sad, you match their energy and meet them where they're at. When we notice and reflect, we are more likely to feel empathy as we try on how others are feeling. Noticing and reflecting says, I see you, I hear you, I notice you. It makes people feel valued and goes a long way towards building trust. Nurturing relationships, practicing curiosity.
I like to ask people to go on walks, either like around the building or like outside, especially when it's warm, or like sit outside for a little bit. And just like, people love one-on-one time. It's always a good chance to just chat or like learn about them a little bit. Ask them about their life, how they're feeling. Like, yeah, I love learning about people. I think people like sharing. Yeah, asking a million questions definitely goes a long way.
We build relationships with others by being curious. It's a practice of asking questions. It sounds so simple, right? It is. Being curious and asking questions should be a part of every relationship we have as DSPs. The practice of curiosity is a practice of prevention. Are there times when you get upset or nervous?
Feel worried.
When you feel worried? And what do you do when you feel that way? Are there ways that you help yourself feel better?
You need to chill.
Just chill?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a spot at MSS where you like to just chill?
Yes.
Where is that?
Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like hanging out with my girlfriend.
Oh, nice. Hanging out with your girlfriend makes you feel chill?
Yeah.
Nice. So you're friendly, you like to talk to people, social person.
Kind person.
Do you always want to be around people, or sometimes do you want time to yourself?
I would love to be around with everyone and have everyone to like be there to support what I've been through and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever change your mind about that? No, you like being social. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are ways that is the best way to get to know you?
I have a list in my tablet, things that I like.
Oh, nice.
There we go. Nice.
Let's see. Oh, nice. Where you put your tablet charger. You like to go out bowling. You love watching WWE wrestling. We know about that. You have Hulu on Peacock on your tablet. Nice. There's all kinds of information in there. Are there any times when you feel frustrated or nervous when you're at MSS?
Sometimes I get emotional because I get emotional, confused, or anger, or I pouty, say angry.
And when you feel that way, what do you like to do to calm yourself?
Try to help your friends or talk to your family, help. It's too many crowded or loud and stuff.
When it's crowded, loud, that might be a time where you start to feel
Yeah.
emotional. But talking it out with people that you trust helps you feel more calm.
Yeah.
What are some things that make you feel happy?
Music.
Music? Yeah. Do you have a favorite kind of music?
Beach Boys.
Beach Boys. Hey. Awesome. Do you like fast or slow music? Slow music. Yeah. Nice. How does it make you feel when you listen to the Beach Boys? Soft?
Yeah.
Soft. Yeah.
When people are supporting you, do you like them to move fast or slow?
Slow.
Like number like 5 or 1 or 2 or 3 or
One.
1.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that 5-point scale that we were using.
Yeah.
Yep. And you said it 1, is that what you said?
Yeah, 1,
So
yeah.
1 is the slowest.
Yeah,
You
the
like to
slowest.
move super slow.
Yeah. Super slow.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Are there things that happen during your day that make you anxious?
Yeah.
What's like one thing that happens that annoys you?
Moving rooms.
Moving around.
Or
Is that related to like wanting to have a more consistent schedule?
yeah. Not used to moving rooms.
You're not used to moving.
Yeah.
So when something unexpected happens, that can make you feel nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or scared.
Or scared.
I feel scared to
Yeah, you feel scared too.
say say what I need.
You're scared to say.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does it help to have people around you who
Understand.
It's helpful to have people around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nurturing relationships. Things to remember. We need to be curious in all of our relationships. We need to listen, ask questions, and listen again. When we are asked to share something about ourselves, even how we are feeling, in a mindful, intentional way, it makes us feel welcomed. Feeling welcomed, feeling like you belong, is a critical part for building communities of prevention. When we feel noticed and that people value what we bring to the space, we're more likely to share our boundaries and preferences, and we're more likely to build a culture of consent. Nurturing Relationships 101. We are all more than one story. Each and every one of us is a complicated, complex human being, no matter our ability or disability. We are all made up of many stories. We change and grow over time. This means that we can't define or label an individual by their history or their past actions. We can't make assumptions about how someone will react to a certain situation. Think about these 2 sentences and fill in the blanks for yourself. For example, I used to be uncomfortable when meeting someone for the first time, but now I enjoy meeting new people. Or some days I may like to be around a lot of people. Other days I want to be alone and avoid crowds. We all carry inside us the ability to react to certain situations differently on different days or at different stages of our lives. This includes the individuals with disabilities we work with and alongside every day. And finally, as we get to know someone, we need to take into consideration family and cultural backgrounds that might influence physical interactions, such as touch or eye contact. Rigid gender norms also can be a barrier to creating a safe space where boundaries are respected. Take the time to understand the many stories that make up the beautiful complexity of every individual in our community. To understand someone as fully as possible is the first step in understanding their boundaries and preferences. Before continuing, pause the video and reflect on the following. How do you practice getting to know those you support, including those who are nonverbal or non-traditional communicators? What do you want to know about someone so you can provide the best care and honor choices? Practicing consent. Step 1. Naming our boundaries. Personal boundaries are the limits we set for our level of comfort around our bodies, our emotions, and our personal space that we don't want others to cross. To establish a community of prevention and a culture of consent, we must understand that our personal boundaries, those lines that we don't want others to cross, will be honored. Ever a time when you get help that when you don't really need it?
Yeah, it's, most of the time.
Can you think of an example when you get help but you don't really need it?
Like if they warm up my lunch, that's something that if I have hot lunch or whatever, I would like to heat it up myself because I know how to do it.
Oh.
You know, I'm just trying to be as independently as I possibly can.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what I do now. So pretty much, I'm trying to be as independently as possible.
Yeah. That sounds like that's really important to you.
Mm-hmm. It's very important.
Yeah.
MSS kind of helps, but I try to be as independently and do things myself because I'm capable of doing it, and they know I'm capable of doing things on my own. And it would be better if I could do most of the things myself.
Yeah. And how does it make you feel when you are doing everything yourself? You're as independent as you can be. How do you feel inside?
Good. I feel really good. Really good, actually. It makes me happy and calm and, you know, happy for myself mostly.
The first step in practicing consent is to name our boundaries and to practice sharing those boundaries with each other. It shows that we care about our relationships and that we value the importance of building trust and respect, because regardless of my relationship or dependence on you, my support professional, my body belongs to me, and your body belongs to you.
Let's say Lindsay is a staff member. How close can Lindsay get?
In a bit.
Ooh, and stop. So I see Lindsay's kind of now in this is sort of the handshake circle. Does that feel right?
Yeah.
All right. And when you feel like Lindsay has gotten the closest that you want her to get, you just say stop.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, action. It's so different for everyone, right? There's no one amount of space that we might need in order to keep our bubble. So you have a right to get to choose how you are in relationship with different people in your life. And that can change day to day. It can change depending on the situation. Sometimes there are friends who, when I see them in a workplace, I don't hug them, but when I see them out of the workplace, I do hug them. So there's no one way to do it. And we all have a right to feel good and safe in the relationships in our lives.
What about if you need help with something like going to the bathroom or getting dressed? Is that person who's helping you, do they own your body? No. No? Oh, Isaiah. Oh, good.
No, because that's their job.
Yeah, that's their job. And so if working with you, do you get to still say no if you need to? Can you say no to somebody? Do they have to ask your permission to help you? Should they just rush in and be like, here, let me do that for you, without asking? No. Has it ever? Oh yeah, Gabby.
He never asking questions, don't tell me, or I'll ask you very nicely. Don't try not to ask them. It's like it's their business, not their business.
It's your business, not their business. Right. And they have to ask you nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounded like you said, if you're not going to ask me questions, then don't help me. Is that what you said? Yeah. What if I needed to go over here? Could I just move your chairs, just push them without saying anything? No. You have to ask. Could I move somebody's wheelchair without asking? No. No. Yeah, red light. Red light. Ashley, what if I was showing you a dance move and I just grabbed Jonathan's hand and I'm like, it's like this! No. Red light. Red light. What if I came over and I just started brushing Jennifer's hair without asking? Is that okay? No. No. What if I saw Isaiah's glasses were dirty and I just came and grabbed them off his face? No. Even though I was trying to help? Yeah.
Expressing the boundary can be respectful, right? Expressing the boundary is a way to develop relationships with each other. That means that you care about that person. You want them to know how to best interact with you in a way that's going to be successful, right? Right. It's a way to show that we care. Practicing consent, step 2. 2 enthusiastic yeses. One way to practice consent is to actually practice using, saying, and showing our yeses and nos. We say yes, we say no. We make our own choices and do something different than what was asked. We're learning about our own limits and boundaries. We're demonstrating how we, uniquely, are going to consent or not consent to something.
Consent means that we get 2 yeses when we ask that permission. So if I say, Jennifer, yes, would you like to do an elbow bump? Oh, we got 2 yeses. What if I went like this? Yes. So do you think if someone says yes to you, do you think you should go ahead and do the thing? No. 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 They're not true. They're not true. Exactly. That's like we're using this really whole body listening where we want to see everything saying enthusiastic, big, definite yes. That's what consent is. It's an enthusiastic, big, definite, everyone's yes. Can you show me what your yes might look like? Oh, I see some sign language yes. Oh, I see Isaiah arms up. It's interesting, right? Some people's yes is really, really big, and some people's yes is a little smaller, so you really have to get to know the person. Lindsay.
I noticed that when Sheila is excited, she goes,
ooh! Yeah, big clap. What about what your no looks like, or sounds like? Do I see some sign language no's? Do I see shaking heads? Jonathan, you like to say no? Yeah. And I also saw your hand. Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that with Jonathan, I really need to give a lot of attention because Jonathan, you tend to like say it in a quiet way. Yeah. So people really need to listen. Do sometimes people miss it when you say no? How does that feel when that happens? Frustrating. Make sure I tell you a second time. So for you, it's important that they hear it twice from you, so they're getting it right. Is there any examples you can think of like, oh, some people I noticed say yes like this, some people say no like this?
Yeah, definitely. There's some people like are more timid in their responses, so we have to be really careful to listen to that. And they do say like, "Well, I suppose so." Then we should be like, "Oh no, actually, like, oh my god, like that
attention to body language, especially noticing if it's not enthusiastic, if you're not getting all the signs of a yes. A lot of expression with eyes, and maybe like looking away can be a signal, looking straight can be a signal, smiling with your eyes can be a signal.
Practicing consent. Things to remember. For too long, there has been a culture of compliance and a lack of bodily autonomy within the disability community. People with disabilities often believe that they must say yes. Starting from a very early age, individuals with disabilities are physically moved and manipulated without consent, regardless of their ability or need for assistance. As a result, they learn that they don't have a say in how their body is handled, and that their space is not necessarily their own. This undermines self-confidence and instills a sense of dependency. Having the opportunity to practice setting and naming our boundaries and establishing our yeses and our nos are tools we use to develop new habits to sustain healthy, balanced relationships throughout our lives.
All right, first let's practice, okay? So you can face me, we're going to practice our yes, no's, and offering something else, okay? Can you all put your foot out like this? You can say, oh, well, you said yes because you all did. All right, relax. Now we're going to practice our no's, okay? Can you all put your foot out like this?
No.
No. Nice, thank you. All right, now we're going to practice offering an alternative, okay? Gabby, can you put your foot out like this? Oh, nice. You put it flat down. Nice, I like that. Thank you. Lorenzo, can you put your foot out like this? Oh, wow, you won't even throw. Whoa, nice. Thank you. All right. Ben, can you put your foot out like this? Oh, nice. Sure, that works. Dan, can you put your foot out like this? Oh, nice. All right, thank you all.
We all have the right to change our mind at any time. If you or someone you support says yes to something at first, but then in the middle of the action says, no, this doesn't feel good to me, or changes their mind, that's totally okay and a part of a healthy practice of consent. And remember, we need to make sure all choices are informed choices. If someone hasn't been given all of the options available and they don't know there are other options they could say yes to, then it's not consent. They're not getting all the information they need to make a choice that's right for them.
For instance, doing an art piece with somebody or a collaborative piece or just a giant group piece where everybody's working, then you say, what color would you like? How about we just do orange, because that's what we have more of. You're choosing for that person. You're not letting them actually have a voice or anything.
Before continuing, pause the video and reflect on the following. How are we actively establishing our own boundaries and understanding the boundaries of the individuals that we work with and alongside every day? How are we asking for consent every time we are interacting with someone's body or their personal equipment, such as wheelchairs, walkers, canes, or communication devices? Practicing Consent 101. Offering choice. When are moments when choice can be eroded?
Yeah, I think in situations that are very that have to happen, like medical, administering medicine, or assisting people with daily cares like eating or using the restroom, I feel like it's easy, especially if you've worked with someone for a long time, to just fall into like a routine of like, this is how we do it, this is what we're going to do, I'm going to do this, and trying to make sure that you're still asking the same questions that you would ask if it was your first time working with that person, and letting it be like an open process that can change.
Definitely there's a lot of different like conflicts of like time show up a lot because of how many staff there are compared to participants sometimes. So trying to make sure that you're able to give everybody the attention that they need and working with everybody closely while also respecting other people's time.
Too often, individuals with disabilities move through their lives with very little or even no choice in their daily lives, from where they live and who they live with, to where they go and what they do every day, to what time they eat or what clothes they wear. Decision-making is a muscle that all of us need to work to strengthen, and we need to provide a practice of making choices. How do we use our creativity to add choices into our daily routines or programming?
Trying to let them participate in any way they see fit. Like that could just be like watching and participating, or doing it completely different. Like I went to art school, so in art school everything was always like, this assignment is basically does not mean anything. You can approach however you want, and so trying to like use that same approach with programming, where it's just like a very loose idea to keep in your head while doing an activity. I think that's where the fun stuff happens too. Like people really bringing their own personality and their own techniques to certain things.
Just as practicing key phrases makes those topics easier to talk about in the moment, a practice of making choices, including having the option to say no, makes it easier to make those critical decisions when we need to stand up for ourselves, for our choices, our needs, and our boundaries. Before continuing, pause the video and reflect on the following. How do you know what people's boundaries are? How do you show people that you've acknowledged and understood their boundaries? How do you practice consent when providing intimate personal cares and hygiene? Final thought, self-care. It can be hard to offer consent when you yourself are feeling stressed or overwhelmed. So before we close out the art of prevention, let's hear from our DSPs one more time and listen to what they have to say about how and why consent matters, and why we need to make sure we take care of our own needs and honor our own boundaries.
What kinds of things do both of you do when you're experiencing stress, like you feel like you need space or time or whatever? Like, what do you do in those situations?
One thing that I have done was I would literally go to one of the SCs and say, hey, can you, or the float, I should say, for the day, and say, hey, I need like 5 minutes. Can you look over my group? This is what we're doing. I just need 5. And then normally I'm refreshed and I come back and it's better.
Like I read a lot of like mindfulness stuff and try to practice mindfulness and thinking about like being more present and like being at work and trying to help people like gets me into a different mind space than like if I'm ruminating on something outside of work.
Right.
Like I try to like make space for those things and separate.
And then if you don't, then that ends up being whatever that you have pulled or have taken in, you didn't leave that at the door. And then that can also influence, you know, the people around you. So like I said earlier, if you're having not a good day, that's going to vibe off on everybody else, and then it's a chain reaction.
So often people get stuck on making big change, but it's often in the small, everyday experiences where real change takes place. Building trust and understanding happens in the small moments over time.
I definitely like believe in the way that like small actions in your everyday life and communication like build up to very large changes in people's lives, and I think that like from the beginning establishing a relationship with somebody where there's like full trust and communication, and that person is like feeling totally comfortable in very, very small things like the activities that you were doing makes them feel more empowered just in every aspect of their life, and then they can take that to wherever they're living, whether that's like a group home or their family's place, and like I think just have a healthier life and a safer life if they know that that sort of communication is appropriate and healthy. Like knowing that they have the choice over everything, I think is super important. And it starts from the small choices and then it leads up to the really big things.
To establish a practice of consent and culture of prevention, we must ask ourselves these questions every day. How am I ensuring that those that I support have choice and agency in their own lives? How am I ensuring that people have space and place to express their boundaries? Consent requires that we listen, we notice, we ask questions, and sometimes we wait. As a direct support professional, you play a crucial role in making sure that the individuals you support are put into the driver's seat of their own lives, empowering them to exercise the same freedom of choice we all enjoy. This is a basic human right. As a community, we can prevent sexual abuse and violence by insisting that our environments and our mindsets support healthy, balanced relationships, where boundaries are honored and consent is practiced every day. Thank you for joining us in this critical training. We hope that in your journey as a direct support professional, you will continue to connect, explore, and practice safe ways to explore communication with the individuals with disabilities you work with and alongside every day.
All right.